Mike Pence could have been killed on January 6th. It's not an exaggeration. Trump supporters, many of them, were calling for Pence to be killed. They built a gallows. They wanted him hung or hanged, depending on your grammatical preference. Mike Pence has said, Trump wanted me to violate the Constitution, and I wasn't willing to do it. And yet, Mike Pence also is saying, as recently as yesterday, even if Trump's convicted, I'd still support him if he were the nominee. To everybody who ends up thinking, oh, Mike Pence might actually be courageous or principled or a good guy, I don't know. Then you get something like this. This is from yesterday's Face the Nation. Listen to this guy.
We're talking about Ramaswamy here, if you don't mind, Mr. Vice President. He said that he would pardon Mr. Trump. You were one of 6 candidates on the stage who said that you would support Mr. Trump even if he is convicted of a felony. Why do you feel that way, especially since you also said on the stage that you felt that he asked you to put him before the Constitution? Why should someone like that be president?
Well, I signed a pledge to be on that stage to say that I'd support the Republican nominee. I remain confident, more confident after Wednesday night, that the Republican nominee will not be the former president. That
we're talking.
So Pence is using his typical way to squirrel out of this, which is, I don't think the American people are going to make that choice. That's the one he's been going with for a while. I don't know if it's endearing or quaint or just pathetic that Pence is acting like that pledge he signed is actually something he has to stick to. So let me talk about that a little bit because it is pretty funny. There is this loyalty pledge that the Republican National Committee asked candidates to sign. I actually don't know whether Donald Trump signed it. It hasn't really been in the news. Chris Christie has made it clear he would not support Trump if Trump were the nominee. So did Chris Christie sign it in order to get up on stage? I don't know. But the whole idea is basically as follows. If you want to be up on the debate stage, not only do you need to have the polling requirement and the individual donor requirement to even qualify, you also need to agree that if the American voters, the Republican voters, don't choose you, but they choose someone else for this primary, that you will support that person. And the idea here is that eventually they want all Republicans on the same page. Donald Trump obviously knows that he can just lie or not support it or whatever. Trump gets that. Chris Christie, from his answers about, yeah, I'll abide by it as much as Trump would, or, whatever. It's clear Chris Christie also knows he'll just violate the thing. What are they going to do to me? It's not a legally binding thing. I'll do whatever the hell I want. Is it quaint or is it pathetic that Mike Pence is using as part of his cop-out answer? Listen, I signed the pledge. I don't know. I'm an honest guy. I signed the pledge, and so I've got to do it. But I just don't think Trump's going to be the nominee. That's the question I have for you. Is it quaint or is it pathetic that Mike Pence is hiding behind that? And then, of course, we get to the constitutional thing. It's really depressing, eye-opening. I don't know what the word would be. It's really something when the people who claim to hold the Constitution as the highest and most important law of the land, almost like it were a religious text, and Mike Pence is a religious guy, right? He knows about religious texts and adherence to them. He has now told the story so many times. Donald Trump asked me to pick him over the Constitution. I couldn't do it. The Constitution, most important thing. And also, I'd support him if he were the nominee because, listen, I signed the frickin' thing or whatever it is that they're calling it, the loyalty pledge. It's all a little bit of a reminder that these stated principles, Constitution above all else, it only is the case for as long as it's convenient. And when it's not convenient, it goes in the toilet. Pence isn't courageous. He's not principled after all. And every time something like this happens, we are reminded of that. I hope Pence is right that he won't be in such a position. I don't see any evidence based on the polling right now that that's actually the case. Let me know what you think. Pathetic or honest? Which is it with former Vice President Mike Pence? Let me know.